What's good, everybody? We are back again,
We back, baby.
and we are the No Hedging Podcast, hosted
Hedging.
by yours truly, Rip 16, the GOAT.
Bah. And Ty the Jet.
No sound effects needed today. He did it for us. Hey, man, last week was a doozy.
A doozy of all doozies.
It was a doozy.
It's crazy.
But how did you do on your record for the week?
What I do? I think I went 9-5, 10-5, 10-5. I think it was
10-5.
10-5. I've been having this consistency with five, losing five.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get over the hump though. Don't worry about it, cause I got a little upset. A couple upset games in there that I didn't expect.
Oh, it was some
the
extremely
Niners,
upset games
the
in there.
Eagles, games that should have been
Upset is an understatement. These games were pissed.
Yeah,
okay? These
So-
games were pissed.
If those guys didn't lose, then you know what? We probably talking 11-3, 11-4, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I went
12-3.
I went 8-7, a little bit over 500. Again, the upset, some rough games, some last minute turnovers, just all types of stuff.
But I'm still
man.
still winning right now. I'm in the lead. I'm at
He's in the
60
lead.
and
60 and 33
Overall
is your
record, 60 and
record,
33.
and 55 and 38 is
He ain't
my
catching
overall record.
You ain't catching up, bro.
But we'll talk about those best bets later. That's the record that matters.
Yeah.
Uh,
But week 6 is behind us, so
Week 6,
screw that week.
thank God.
It's time to restart.
you know how they say go into next play mode? That's
play.
what I suggest
Next
we
play.
do. Go into next play mode. We're leaving that week behind. We're going to take away what we had to take away, and y'all can go check out our takeaways video, which we just got done. So make sure if you haven't seen that already, go check that out. Like, share, comment, subscribe, because we're going to keep hitting y'all with this awesome NFL content all season.
Absolutely.
And the NBA is starting soon.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
So
is.
let's get to it.
But without further ado, week 7, let's get into it, man. It's time for the rundown. Let's go, man. What's the first game on the slate? What we got?
First game on the slate, we have TNF on Amazon Prime.
I love Thursday Night Football. I love the production. I love the cast. I love the whole thing. I love everything they're doing. Amazon Prime, shout out to y'all. Y'all got the whole thing on lock, man.
I even found myself watching the shop, watching the Chiefs and the Broncos.
Yeah.
That was also entertaining.
The post game is fire.
Shout
They
out
be
to
having
Bron.
concerts and shit. That should be dope, man. Metro Boomin was on last week. I was watching Metro Boomin last week.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. They doing their thing over there. And we have a solid game this week. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
Your New Orleans Saints.
My New Orleans Saints, the Saints that I chose to win the division, which is still very much in play.
The Saints that lost last week.
Yeah, the whole NFC South lost last week once again. So, but it's still a tight race for first place in the NFC South.
Yes, it is.
So we got the Saints coming back home in New Orleans at the Superdome. They just lost to the Houston Texans. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They just coming off of a big win.
Two big wins.
Yeah, they just come 2 big wins, but this past week they just coming off a big win here. In the Superdome, Trevor Lawrence got a knee injury. Not sure if he's playing or not, but the way that the line is showing, he might be in. You know what I'm saying? The line is at +1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I don't think he practiced on Monday, but short week coming off of an injury, which is not a good thing for the Jaguars. So it definitely makes this one very questionable. But which way you leaning on it, though?
I like the Saints at home in this spot, coming off of a loss. I think they found some kind of rhythm and mojo. I think they lost the game last week against the Texans due to being so high off of that big win against New England.
Right, the dumpster fire.
Yeah, by playing a Mac Jones that didn't know what the hell was going on, didn't have no weapons, and they go to Houston and they playing against Houston, C.J. Stroud, and they throwing it all over the place. It's a different type of offense there.
Yeah.
I think the Saints at home it's hard to play in that dome. Jacksonville been on a couple game, a 3-game win streak, but I just think it kind of settles down here in New Orleans, man. I'm taking the Saints on this one.
Okay. I must say I definitely understand it for sure. This week, coming off a short week, a Trevor Lawrence injury, they still have him listed as day-to-day. He did practice on Tuesday, but he was limited. So they say they're optimistic that he'll play.
He's
on
going to
Thursday.
play. He's going to play. I'm telling you now, he's playing.
His mobility is going to be kind of limited with a knee injury, but you know they've been clicking. They've been clicking. You know they still got ETN. They still got some guys who can make some plays, catch some passes. Somebody get loose. So hey, his arm's not broke. So I guess I'm gonna rock with the Jags on this one, man.
You only doing that because you don't want the Saints to get the win. You haven't picked the Saints not one time.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well,
I think I did
week.
pick. I did pick. I didn't pick him last week. I picked Houston.
No, you did pick Houston.
I picked Houston.
You picked them
sure.
against the Patriots. That's what I meant.
Yeah. So it ain't that. I mean, I think the Jags are just hot, and they've been benefiting off of timeless situations. The boys got 9 lives or something. I don't know, but they've been making it happen. So I'm gonna rock with it, and I'm gonna see what comes of it. But if they say Trevor's in, I like the motion they got going right now. I think they figure out a win.
Okay. Taking the Saints.
Saints still got some scoring issues.
That defense is gonna have Trevor running around.
The Saints still got some scoring issues though. But yeah. So next game on the slate, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What say you?
In a division game on the road in Tampa, Tampa Bay is the favorite by 2.5 points.
Less than a field goal.
I don't know if we stated in that last game, but Jacksonville and New Orleans is a 1-point game. So that's expected to be close. But this one, it's a little bit more separation. Tampa Bay is a 2.5-point favorite at home.
Why you think they're the favorite?
Because they should be the favorite. They've been the strongest team in the division.
But they lost last week.
They lost to the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Tampa Bay has lost 2 games this year. One of those teams was undefeated until last week, and the other team had only lost 1 game. So what that tells me is Tampa Bay is pretty good against middle of the pack and bottom tier teams. Now, when it comes to them top tier teams, they might not have enough firepower.
So what's your pick?
Based on this, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are supposed to win this game. So as far as winning this game in the division, they've looked the toughest. I want the Falcons to win this game. I hope I'm wrong. But I think Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I'm going to agree. I'm taking Tampa Bay on this side. Like I said, in our takeaway video, it's this defensive front. It's just not a good matchup for Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons, man. And then another slight lean towards Tampa Bay, another edge, is they're at home. Atlanta doesn't play good on the road, man. So I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs, they played terrible against Detroit last week. They didn't score that much. I expect them to have a way better game this week versus Atlanta.
Do you think they can generate a solid run game against the Falcons defense?
Well, I think the Falcons defense is quietly one of the top defenses in the league. I'm being completely honest. You know what I mean? I don't think it's more so about Tampa Bay and their offense running the football. I think it's more so the Falcons stopping the pass because sometimes they give up some they give up some passes. Last week against the Washington Commanders, people was getting open. Also special teams as well.
McLaurin got open a lot
last week. So
I expect Mike Evans to try to, duplicate that.
Exactly. So I think against the run, Atlanta plays very stout against the run. I do know that Tampa Bay is going to come out and try to run the ball because they want to keep that balance because the way that they operate, run, play action, hit Mike Evans or hit Chris Godwin. Right. So I think Atlanta's defense is pretty good, but I think offensively Tampa Bay is a little bit better, and that's where the points, that 2.5 comes from.
Yeah, I don't expect this to be a runaway game. And I think, of course, it boils down to which Desmond Ridder are we going to get. At the
The
end
same
of the
one.
day.
The same one.
We had one throw for 300, and then we had another
You're
one
going to
who
get the
threw it for
same
3
Desmond
picks.
Ritter you've been getting for the first 6 weeks. It's 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's what you've been getting.
6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Okay.
He averages
So we're
a
gonna
pick
see.
and a touchdown a game.
But maybe they shifted over to Bijan. I think if the Falcons got a shot at
If
winning
they're
this
smart.
game, they're going to have to shift it over to Bijan and stick beside the game plan as far as running the ball.
Yeah, but I think
And
even
controlling the
still,
clock.
though, the Buccaneers, they got good linebackers. You got Levante David, you know what I'm saying? They got guys that are fast that can stick with
They got some
Bijan.
guys
So,
who can play some defense, for
like I
sure.
said, I like Tampa Bay here at home. Falcons on the road, not a good spot for them.
Okay. I respect it.
Got to.
Next game on the slate, we have the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Bills Mafia versus the Dumpster Fire Patriots.
New England Patriots. The Bills are favored by 8.5 on the road in New England.
Foxborough.
Yeah.
In Foxborough, they're favored by 8.5. That's crazy. Years ago, who would have thought that we see this day?
Right. No Tom Brady. That's what you get.
But the Bills had a rough one against the Giants. The Giants showed up and looked different. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more later. But the Bills pulled off a win last week, despite struggling in the first half. They managed to put together enough key plays in the second half. You know, it was a call or something at the end, which some people had some questions about, but they pulled off a win. The Patriots also displayed some fight against the Raiders last week. You know, they had a very close game. I think it was a 2 points loss to the Raiders.
No, it wasn't. The Raiders beat them.
What was the score?
That game was
I can't remember maybe I'm tweaking on the final score.
yeah, it wasn't.
But
It wasn't it.
But it wasn't a runaway. I do know that. So, with that being said, I mean, the Patriots did show some fight, but I don't think it's enough. I think the Bills will come
21-17.
Okay, 4 points. Okay. But I knew it was a close one. So, with that being said, I do think the Bills pop out and, you know, take this game because they know that game versus the Giants was what the fuck.
Yeah.
So, but the Bills are kind of quietly scaring me.
Yeah.
You know, we've said this about 3 times, like, damn, that was a close one. I didn't know they was going to be like that. Or, damn, they lost. Or, yeah. So, my whole thing is the Bills got to pull it together. You know, I think the Bills are one of those teams that's Super Bowl or bust for them.
Oh, yeah, for
So,
sure.
you know, in order for them to be a legit Super Bowl champion, they're going to have to handle these other teams better than they've been handling.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's a divisional game, I just think it's a difference in talent, man. Like, the Buffalo
Not even
Bills,
close.
they got a better quarterback, they got better receivers, they got a better secondary.
Stephon Diggs
They got
has
a better
been good.
front. They just got way more talent. And if the Raiders can beat them by 4, then I'm sure that the Bills can beat them by 15. So I'm taking the Bills to win this one outright, flat out. I expect Buffalo to fix the bullshit issues that they had. I know Josh Allen was going through some little injury with his arm against the Giants. I expect him to play a lot better. I expect the whole team of Buffalo to play a lot better, especially in this divisional game against the Patriots, for sure.
Except for Stephon Diggs. He's been playing great. So he can continue doing what he's doing. But, yes. Next game on the slate, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Indianapolis Colts. They are in Indianapolis. And the Browns are a 1.5 point favorite in this game on the road.
Why do you think that is?
Defense. defense. Deshaun Watson hadn't, had too many great flashes this season, but
Where is he? Anybody seen him?
I think he was on the sideline. But
Nobody's seen him.
but the backup came in. Your boy Walker came in. He put together a good game. Jerome Ford, he gave
the team a chance. He didn't lose it for him.
Right, he damn sure didn't lose it for him.
He didn't throw 3 picks.
The defense definitely put them in a position to win last week, and they did. we talked about that some in takeaways, but I completely understand them being a 1.5 point favorite here, and I'm gonna roll with them on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna roll with the Browns.
yeah. I think the Colts. I like the Colts coming off this loss. They had 3 turnovers that really screwed them up. They were very competitive.
Yeah.
In London, you know what I'm saying, playing Lamar Jackson. So
That was the Titans.
That was Titans. My bad. It was my bad. Gardner Minshew still threw picks.
Yeah.
Bad ones.
Yeah.
Still threw bad ones.
Yeah.
So I expect him to not throw as many picks and to keep the game kind of close. But I can see Cleveland getting a little bit high off of that win against the 49ers a little bit. Because I would expect the spread to be a little bit bigger. I would expect them to be a little bit, maybe
Well, I think the
3
spread's
points.
not bigger because the Colts offense is, I would say for the totality of the season, I've seen more production out of the Colts offense than the Browns offense. However, clearly the Browns defense has been at the top of the league in terms of how they perform it. So I think that's one reason.
I'm going to take the Colts, man. I'm taking the Colts on this one. It's hard to pick against them. At home, Cleveland, I just think they're a little bit too high off of that win from San Francisco. They almost lost that game.
They did.
And if they would have lost that game, telling what the spread would be. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, but even if they would have lost that game, say they made the field goal at the end, we would not have been mad at the Browns' performance in that game.
No, absolutely not.
They did. I mean, everybody expected them to lose that game.
But I do expect Taylor to have a better game running the football this week. Last week was first game second game back. So I expect him to have a better performance this week.
He gets some more
running
time.
the ball. If they're smart, they'll run the ball. I'm going on a long shot here. I'm taking the Colts, man.
Okay. Hey, I'm a fan of what the Colts been doing this season. I just think that defense, the Colts gave up some turnovers to the Jags. And I think the Browns defense is better. So I think they'll come out here and cause some turnovers too for Minshew. So we'll see how they bounce back. They are at home, so I'm not mad at it. I've been rocking with the Colts this season, but this game I got to go with the Browns. I'm going to just keep it a buck. Next game on the slate, we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Chicago Bears. In Chicago.
No Justin Fields.
That is the key.
No Justin Fields.
If you watch takeaways, we talked about the injuries, and Justin Fields is one of the biggest ones and has one of the hugest impacts. Couldn't come at a worse time. He was just getting hot.
Yeah. Dislocated his thumb.
On the throwing hand.
No Justin Fields, no dub. I'm putting it like that. They don't have any running backs. They are pulling running backs off of the practice squad.
Oh my God.
The backup quarterback.
If you're an NFL
take
hopeful,
it to the house.
If you're an NFL hopeful and you think you can run the ball, the Bears might sign you. Because at this point, they need any back they can get.
Yeah.
They're reeling.
Yeah. So I like the Vegas Raiders, man. I like the Raiders. I really want the Raiders to be a good football team. I really do. I really like the Raiders, man. They got a good offense. Jimmy Garoppolo might not play. Aiden O'Connell might play. I do like Aiden O'Connell because one thing about Aiden O'Connell, he gonna throw that rock to Devontae Adams.
What happened to Stidham?
I don't know what happened to Stidham. He probably got outplayed or something. I have no idea.
It's crazy. I thought he was doing better.
But I like Aiden O'Connell. I like Max Crosby to cause that pressure for this rookie undrafted quarterback that the Chicago Bears are going to be playing.
Mad Max.
So give me the Raiders offense versus the Chicago Bears lack of defense, right? And then give me the Raiders defense versus the Chicago Bears lack of Justin Fields, and I'm taking that side all day long.
Okay. I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. I mean, without Justin Fields, the rookie came in, he threw a pick, had a fumble, turnover on down. It was a lot for him, like very quick. Like the NFL hit him fast.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, having a full week of practice, knowing that you're going into the game being the starter will, help him clean it up some, but it's only 1 week. And Mad Max is on a mission.
Yeah, and it took the Bears about 4 weeks to get a game plan for Justin Fields. So let alone what's going to happen with this guy. Yeah, so
him over there has a hard time coming from. Max Crosby going to be on his ass. Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders. Next game on the slate, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus your Seattle Seahawks.
Yep, Seattle at home. What's up, 12s? We back at home. Terrible loss against Cincinnati on the road. Outplayed Cincinnati for the majority of the game, except for the red zone. Couldn't get any passes off Geno Smith. I don't understand it. Kept getting sacked. Didn't even want to throw the ball.
Geno
Don't know what
DK
happened.
Metcalf were just not in sync.
Don't know what the hell was going on, but I expect Seattle to bounce back against the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals, no James Conner. He's on the IR. I do like their backup running back, but I don't expect the Cardinals to keep up with the Seattle's offense as far as scoring goes. Even though it's a divisional game, I see that. I do like Seattle at home. Bounce back win. It's hard to play in Seattle. Hard to win in Seattle. Give me Seattle. Pete Carroll at home off a loss to beat the Cardinals. Easy dub.
I did not like the run game production I saw out of the Cardinals. Of course, not having James Conner is an issue.
The Bengals, it was on it.
The Bengals were on it. I seen a couple good plays from your boy Hollywood Brown. He caught a couple good passes out there, but offensively without James Conner, I think that team definitely struggles a lot because James opens it up so much with the run game. And the Seahawks coming off a loss, I think they will play better. Geno and DK Metcalf, hopefully they pull it together, get the chemistry back. I look for DK Metcalf to have more targets this game because he had a couple times where he just opened and he was frustrated. Mm-hmm. No more dumb penalties though. Who did he do that? The Cam Taylor Britt just like pushed him like 30 yards.
Roughness, man.
Pushed him. He fell like 30 yards. Don't do that. Chill out, bro. But I'm taking the Seahawks on this one because I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Cardinals offense without James Conner. However, we'll get to that later. They're favored by 8 points in this game. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty high one. Mm-hmm. So that's something to contemplate on. But next game on the slate, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, fresh off a bye week.
Yep.
Against the Los Angeles Rams.
In L.A.
Rams
favored by 3.
Do you feel like that point spread is legit?
I think it's good. I think it's a good spread. It's a tight game. I think the game will be tight. Pittsburgh off a bye week. They had extra week to prepare. I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh gets the dub. I think the Rams, they lost their running back. Williams got injured. I don't think he's going to play this week.
You don't think Kyron's playing?
Nah, I think he got injured. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, because you got to think about it. This stadium is going to be filled with Pittsburgh Steelers fans, man. They travel like hell. So,
yep, sprained ankle, expected to miss week 7 on Monday. Underwent an MRI, diagnosed it as sprain.
Yeah, he's out. So,
that is big.
Yeah, I like Pittsburgh in this spot, man. I would like to lean Rams, but I think if you got, Matt Stafford is not mobile, so if you got Matt Stafford just sitting in the pocket, T.J. Watt, I'm expecting T.J. Watt, Highsmith. I'm expecting those guys to do some damage, man. They had enough time to prepare for this game. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a good game plan for the Rams and Cooper Kupp and Tutu and all these guys and Patua. I'm taking the Steelers, man.
I think they do definitely generate some pressure. I think we do definitely see another T.J. Watt sack. He's consistently giving you that. So I'm not going to take that away from him. The pressure is going to be heavy, but I'm still leaning Rams on this one. At home, I think they do have enough offensive firepower with – you got three wide receivers who have been consistently catching passes and touchdowns, and you also have a tight end who's been pretty reliable, even though I think he's been a little underutilized this season thus far. So with that being said, I'm still going to stick with the Rams despite the Kyron Williams injury, which is important. I'm not going to underestimate that. So I can definitely understand it being 3 with Kyron Williams. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers covered, but I'm gonna still stick beside the Rams on this one.
All right.
Next game on the slate, we have an interesting game.
Another garbage bowl.
One of my favorites. Green Bay Packers versus the
Denver Broncos.
The Green Bay Packers are a 1-point favorite on the road in this game. Although I've been hypercritical of the Broncos this season.
You have been
hypercritical.
So sounds for you saying. What are you saying right now?
I'm not saying they're gonna win. Though.
Okay.
If you thought I was about to say that,
okay.
However,
all right, Mr. O'Neill, please stop.
I do want to give them some credit for the defense they played against the Kansas City Chiefs last week. The Broncos, they didn't want to get picked on. I told you I was picking on them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to get picked on. So they stepped up against the Chiefs. So they played some good defense. I've seen a lot of good defensive plays. They got some stops, played much better than I thought. Now, how's that going to translate against the Packers with Christian and Romeo Doubs? And is Aaron Jones back this game?
Questionable.
He's always questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones, AJ, he's the king of questionable. AJ Dillon had a solid game last game.
They coming off a bye.
They coming off a bye week. They rested. I like the Packers in this spot.
I'm gonna go the other way.
Cool.
I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna stick beside this. If Aaron Jones is not playing, the Green Bay Packers are not winning. And he's a big part of their offense. I believe Aaron Jones is the main part of their offense.
But AJ Dillon stepped it up last week.
He stepped it up, but they still lost.
They lost.
They lost. I don't care how much you can step it up. He's not Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones poses as he's more dynamic, right? He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run screens. He can run the ball as well on the outside zone runs. All A.J. Dillon can do is sit in there and run up the tackles. That's it. Yes, he had a good game, but I think if you add that dynamic player of Aaron Jones to that offense, that's going to help out Jordan Love way more than just running the football, right? Because they leaned on that and end up getting in trouble by doing that.
I'll say part of them losing that game, though, was also the fact that they had to go against Max Crosby. And Max Crosby was generating some pressure, and, you know, he made some timely sacks. And he comes in and make plays. And I think that's the reason why Vegas beat them in that game, because it was a close game. And they didn't target Romeo Doubs that much.
Nope.
So I think going into this game against the Broncos, I don't expect the Broncos to come out and have the same level of effectiveness against the Packers as they had against the Chiefs, just because the receiving core is a little bit better than the Chiefs receiving core. So with that being said, I'm gonna stick beside the Packers, but I will say the Broncos with Javonte Williams.
Yes, that's what I was going to lean into.
Javonte Williams and the defense playing better looked a lot better. They didn't look like a dumpster fire last week. So I'll give them credit for that. I'm not going to pick them this game because I still don't trust them.
Hey, I'm going to pick them.
I still don't trust them.
I'm going to pick them because I like what I saw against the Chiefs.
But they played much better.
Yeah, they did. They did. So if they can run the football more with Javonte Williams, they can connect a little bit with Cortland Sutton, because Sutton is their number one. I mean, you got Jerry Jeudy and whatnot, but Sutton is the number one receiver. They need to lean into that, get him more targets. And I think they learned from that loss from Kansas City, defensively and offensively. They just need to get more points and score. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So I'm taking the Denver Broncos. Don't screw me on this one, Russ.
Broncos country. Let's ride. Next game on the slate.
Here we go.
My Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. In Arrowhead.
In Arrowhead.
Divisional game, man.
Tough division game. The Chiefs are a 5-point favorite in this game. I'll let you speak first.
Yeah, so this game right here, I think is going to be close. I like the spread in favor of the Chargers. I do like the spread in favor of the Chargers.
Say that.
Chargers just came off a loss to the Cowboys. Short week, though, for the Chargers. Kansas City has some time to prepare. It's in Arrowhead. I do like the Chiefs to come out on top and win because I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I just can't. I mean, why would I, right? So I'm The only time I'll bet against Patrick Mahomes is there's no Kelsey.
Okay.
As long as Kelsey is playing, I'm betting on the Chiefs. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs here in the win at home in Arrowhead against the Chargers, man. Sorry, buddy.
Don't tap me. The Chargers came off of a loss, as you just so eloquently stated, to the Dallas Cowboys. They lost that game by a field goal. Came, of course, like we said, the problem with the Chargers is sometimes the coach is playing for the other team.
Yeah.
Seems like every game you have some type of questionable call, questionable decision. This past game was going for it instead of kicking the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game, I don't like the point spread though. And I'm gonna go with the Chargers
To win?
Yes.
Why?
I'm gonna go with the Chargers to win because the Chargers defense has quietly been playing better than they have at the beginning of the season.
They're still one of the worst pass defenses in the league.
Yeah, but then they also playing against one of the worst receiving cores I've ever seen in my life. So, so they have a phenomenal quarterback, a Hall of Fame tight end, and nobody else to catch the ball. You got Pacheco, who can make some runs and stuff like that, and that's cool. But I think Eckler getting more time to get acclimated. I think Keenan Allen continuing to play how he's been playing, even against Dallas Cowboys defense, who's top tier in terms of defense. Palmer got speed. Johnston, they learning when and when not to use Gerald Everett. They use him in the red zone. Cool, good for him. Mm-hmm. Gives you another weapon later on down in the field. So if they get in red zone, I like their chances. I just feel like Travis Kelce being the only target for Patrick Mahomes is going to come back and bite them in the ass. And
I don't agree. I think, Dak just went off. He had a good game against the Chargers, man.
But he only put up 20.
With CeeDee Lamb. You know what I'm saying? Kelce, they're going to eat up the inside of that defense. I think Andy Reid is going to out-scheme and out-coach Brandon Staley. I mean, Brandon Staley's supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. Worst defense in the league versus the pass. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. Even though the Chiefs' receiving core is a little bit shaky.
Shaky.
You still got Rashee Rice. He's coming to form.
He's coming, but
you know what I'm saying? He had a good game last week.
Against who?
The Denver Broncos, which you said played better.
Better.
And they're not as bad as your Chargers defensively.
They played better, but here's the problem. The Broncos were only able to put up 8 points. Mm-hmm. Justin Herbert is not Russell Wilson.
Right. That's the difference.
So let's be clear about that.
That's the difference.
The Chiefs could have damn near lost that game because Kelce was hot in the first half and didn't do much in the second half. I think he had 120 yards receiving or something like that in the first half. Second, he ended the game less than 150. So what does that tell you? So my whole thing is, I'm like, Justin Herbert's gonna give you more offense than Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs aren't putting up crazy numbers on points because their receivers aren't that good.
Right, but they're playing a different style of football, right? They're playing more balanced. They run the ball a little bit more. Pacheco, right? They're not pushing the ball down the field.
They balanced, but Pacheco's averaging like 60 yards.
Lock it in. Kansas City Chiefs money line. That's the dub.
Okay. Next game on the slate, we have another interesting game here. We have waiting all day for Sunday night. We got the Miami Dolphins versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
The Eagles are a 2.5 point favorite.
At home.
Philly
at home, man. I'm going to tell you right now. The Dolphins been beating up on all these teams that ain't really that good. As soon as they played Buffalo, what happened?
Buffalo beat them.
Buffalo destroyed them.
Buffalo beat them.
Philly coming off of a loss. I think Jalen Carter is going to be playing. I think Jalen Carter, I believe that they sat a couple of these guys for this game. I believe that. I wholeheartedly do. Jalen Carter and whoever else was injured. I believe they sat them for that.
Okay.
So Miami's about to go up to Philadelphia. It's a little bit colder in Philadelphia. It's a little bit colder.
Okay, you thinking the cold players?
It's a whole the coldest part of it. It's colder in Philadelphia. You got Jalen Hurts in Miami. Miami's defense isn't that good.
No,
it's not as good as the Jets defense that the Eagles just
the
played.
personnel is not as good.
Right, the personnel is not as
The
good.
scheme is good. The personnel is not that
So
good.
I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to bounce back in this spot at home on Sunday night. That crowd is going to be bananas. It's going to be nuts. They're going to be shooting birds. They're going to be spitting on Dolphins players. They're going to do the whole night. They'll be fighting Dolphins fans, right? And I just expect the Philadelphia Eagles to get back on track, control the clock, run the football, right? Because they don't want that high explosive offense on the field as often. And that's what Philadelphia does, right? They can run the football very well with Swift, right? And Gainwell, and also Jalen Hurts. So I expect them to control the clock. I expect A.J. Brown to do what he do against these corners. There was a cornerback over there, Kehu, on Miami Dolphins side that got cooked by Stephon Diggs a couple weeks ago.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about A.J. Brown now, right? So A.J. Brown, you talking about top-tier wide receivers.
Yeah, he's up there.
I'm rambling now. Y'all know what time it is. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. EAGLES, Eagles. My boy Fireman Ed.
Yeah, that was cute. But you talking about Eagles, and I'm talking about cheetahs, penguins, bats. I don't know what other animals they got down there, but the Dolphins are fast, okay?
Yeah, they're fast.
You can say all you want to say, but the Dolphins are fast. And here goes two things that have been going on for the Eagles. They have been a little shaky in terms of who they're playing against and how they perform. I've only seen them dominate maybe once or twice this season, and this is the same Eagles who gave up a lot of passing yards to the Minnesota Vikings. So they have shown that they are susceptible when they go against somebody with a solid quarterback and good ass wide receivers. The Dolphins got two of them. They got a good quarterback. They got a good running back. They have a balanced offense, and they're fast. So the Eagles can run the ball all they want. They can eat up a lot of clock, but the Dolphins have been known to score pretty fast. So
Dolphins did go down 14-0 to the Carolina Panthers.
and what happened?
Yeah, they came back, but do you think they can do that against the Philadelphia Eagles? If they go down 14-0 to Philadelphia, what you think gonna happen?
I just saw the Eagles lose to the Jets.
That's a different defense. That defense is way better.
The defense is way
That
better.
defense is way better than
The
Miami.
defense is for sure way better than Miami's, but I think the offense is for sure way better in Miami than it is on the Jets. Let's be clear about that from top to bottom. So I don't think Miami is trying to win the game off of defense. They're trying to win the game off of offense. And their offense is constructed to do so. Usually you need some strong defense, but I think if any team can win off of pure offense, it's the team that dropped 70. They did it against a trash defense, but they dropped 70, and that ain't normal.
Miami's defense ranks 20th in rushing yards allowed, 19th in passing yards allowed, 28th in first downs allowed, 20th in third down conversions.
So they're the lower
in
middle.
yards per play.
They're the lower middle pack of the league in terms of that. And we know that the Eagles can run.
Philadelphia's offense ranked first on third down conversions, 9th in passing yards, 2nd in rushing yards, 9th in yards per play. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. They are a better team offensively. And like I said, they're going to hold off Tua, keep him on the sideline, run the ball, control the clock. They're probably going to have time of possession.
I understand why it's 2.5. The Eagles will definitely dominate time of possession. I can see it coming down to something at the end, but I don't know. The Eagles been playing with their food too much for me. I don't like it. Next game on the slate, we have some.
A double? What's that?
What's that? A double header on Monday?
No. It's out of sorts.
Oh yeah, it's just out of sorts. My bad. Okay, because I was like, okay, what's up with this? It's just out of sorts. So we have a Sunday afternoon football game: the Detroit Lions versus the Baltimore Ravens.
It's a good game right here. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I think it is a good game. The Ravens are a 3-point favorite in this game. Now, why do you think that is?
Ravens at home. I think people don't believe in Jared Goff just yet.
Why?
I don't know. Jared Goff is working his way to be a top 5 quarterback this year. Legit. I think Lamar always seems to rise to the occasion when it needs to be, right? When it's a must win, it seems like Lamar always finds a way to muster it up to get that W. But what I did see when they played, when I did see when they played, like they had to win this week. They had to.
Yeah, but he lost a couple games. This
Yeah, but I'm
season.
saying like if he has to like this is a game is of the magnitude of this game is like he has to win this one. Like he sleeps a little bit on the Colts, sleeps a little bit on the Titans and shit like that, right? I think in this game right here, I do like the Ravens at home to win this game. It's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be tough. But I do like the Ravens to win this game. I haven't seen Detroit beat anybody yet that is like a legitimate playoff contender, except for the Chiefs without Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Until I see that, I don't expect them to win this game against Baltimore. I'm taking Baltimore at home and Lamar Jackson. I do like Detroit, though, but I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm not. I'm taking Detroit. I'm taking Detroit. I don't know why Detroit is the underdog in this game. The Ravens have dropped the ball a lot. I think I'm in slight disagreement with you on the Lamar Jackson stepping up in big games and playing harder and all that. I think he's been trying. I just think the injuries, missing players on their team, the run game being devastated and him having to step up on that. I don't like the fact that he has to run that much and taking all these hits. I feel like they've been trying, and they just haven't been super successful. They've won a few games this season, but the in and out rotation, who's your number one receiver, who's available, who's running, I don't like it. They pulled it off in London against the Titans, low scoring game. But I think Detroit plays very clean. They don't have a lot of turnovers. Aiden Hutchinson is a menace.
Yeah.
On defense. So you got some guys. You got Laporta. You got Reynolds. You got another Reynolds.
Monty. No Monty. Monty's out.
Okay. But I mean, you still got St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So you got enough guys out there who I think can make some impactful plays on offense and defense, enough to handle the Ravens, who frankly have not been very high scoring, and have had turnovers. Mm-hmm. They've been susceptible.
I don't know. This is a good game. I like the Ravens at home. Just it's like I said, Lamar. I like Lamar, but Detroit back-to-back road games. I'm taking the Ravens at home. It's gonna be a close one, I expect. It could really go either way, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the Ravens, to win this one at home. That's the only edge I really see. I mean, the Lions balanced all the way around.
They are balanced.
They can throw it. They can run it. They're physical on defense. They can rush the passer. Everything's leaning Lions, but I just think the Ravens kind of squeak it out in the end.
Gotcha. All right. I hear you.
I like the Lions, though. I do like the Lions, but
it took you some convincing, but you came around.
I need them to win this game to really lock me in.
You said it like 3 times. You said it like 3 times. How many times they got to win?
They got to. It's the type of teams that they play it against.
How many times do they got to win to lock you in? It's crazy. But anyway, next game on the slate, we have the New York Football Giants versus the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders are at home in this game.
No, they're not. They're on the road. Giants at home.
I'm sorry. Like I said, it's been tweaking. The Giants are at home. The Giants are a 2.5-point underdog in this game, though.
Mm-hmm.
To the Washington Commanders, and I get it.
Eat the points. I'm eating all the points, all 2.5 of them. I'm taking the Giants at home. In a close one. It's going to be a tight one. Saquon is back, right? What Saquon being back helps us out a lot.
Tremendous.
A lot, right?
Quietly, they played better with Tyrod Taylor.
But with Saquon. So it's hard. You can't really say, we can't really say, okay, if Daniel Jones had Saquon, it could have been the same outcome, similar.
The only reason I'm saying this is because at the beginning of the game, Saquon really wasn't generating that much rushing. The Bills were stopping him up at the line. He had very minimal gains in terms of rushing early in the game, but they did stick with it and they did find ways to incorporate him in other ways, and he found some room to break out and get you some Saquon plays.
Yeah, Tyrod played well. He threw a couple dimes on the sideline to Slayton, nice gains or whatever. But I do like the Giants here in this spot. Home dog, playing Washington.
What about all that juice you was giving they line against the Falcons?
They still got a good offense, still got a defensive line that we have to be prepared for. But I just think the Giants and the Washington, we're like the same type of team. We always split for the most part during the season. Usually we be beating them in their stadium. So I'm just taking the Giants at home this one, man. I like what I saw. I wasn't all that pleased when we played Buffalo. I do think our defense played very, very well. Very, very well. Our defense
definitely stepped up.
Our defense played very, very well.
They got tired of me talking about picking on them.
Getting turnovers, things along those lines. I think we can commit more turnovers against this Sam Howell guy. Our defense is gonna carry our team. We just got to get in the end zone. We got to score in the red zone. That's what we missed out at in Buffalo, man. So I expect us to play a lot better at home. I'm taking the Giants. Don't follow me. Go ahead and take Washington.
I'm not convinced on Washington. I'm not convinced on the Giants because I do feel like they are kind of similar and evenly matched in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So this one is a tough one to call. I do understand this one. I will say I do actually like the Giants on point spreads because I do think this is going to come down to like a field goal type of situation. They looked a lot better with Saquon and Tyrod. Is Daniel Jones playing?
He should be playing. I think so.
He's playing?
I believe so, yeah. He was one. They had him on pace to come back this week.
If Daniel Jones is playing, I think the offensive line don't like him or something. He's going to get his ass beat. Because Tyrod Taylor, that offensive line didn't look as bad.
They held up.
They did not look as bad with Tyrod Taylor as they
definitely
looked with
held
Daniel
up.
Jones. They looked like a dumpster fire. They had a guy off the couch, and they played better with Tyrod Taylor than they had. If Daniel Jones is playing, give me Washington. They don't like him. I think he didn't give his offensive line.
You taking Washington?
I'm taking Washington for the win. Not necessarily the points. But as we just said, the point spread went down to 2. So maybe they lean the Giants on that one.
Yeah.
This is definitely a spot where the Giants can easily win. But I'm going to take Washington for the win on this one. Final game on the slate, we have the
did that one.
Gotcha. Final game on the slate, we have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings. In Minnesota, the Vikings are a 7-point underdog in this game.
Monday Night Football.
On Monday night.
Crazy things happen on Monday night.
Yes, they do.
In prime time.
Yes, they do.
For this one, I expect the 49ers to win. Not sure if they're going to cover. I expect them to win, though, because they just came off that loss to Cleveland.
That cover is super shaky.
They lost to Cleveland. Vikings, still no Justin Jefferson. Vikings just came off of a win to a trash team in the Chicago Bears.
Trash and injured
team. And they only won by like 6 points or something like that. So it wasn't even, they didn't dominate them like they supposed to have done without Justin Fields. So I think the 49ers go up in Minnesota and handle business like they supposed to, get back on track, and get that 6th win of the season. So I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to beat the brakes off of the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't know about them beating the brakes off of them, but I do think the Vikings win this game for sure.
The Vikings?
No, not the Vikings. I'm sorry. The 49ers win this game for sure. Thank you for correcting me because I do not want that to be on the record. Taking the 49ers to win this game. I think they bounced back from the loss. They only beat Justin Fields' Bears by 6, like you said. They're missing their top wide receiver, who's the top wide receiver in the league.
But Jordan Addison is a good two.
He is.
That's
He's
my
a good
dude.
two, but he's the one right now.
He's solid.
He's a good two. He's going to have to be the one right now. And the 49er defense is
They're going to eat Kirk Cousins alive. Kirk Cousins can't run. They're going to eat him alive. He's not going to get out of that pressure, man. It's a wrap.
Yeah, he's going to need some mobility to handle them boys.
Yeah, it ain't none of this. Ain't gonna be none of that.
I think that's what saved our boy PJ.
He can move around a little bit.
He can run.
Yeah, he can move around a little bit.
That's what saved him. That boy kind of quick.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk is not. So yeah, but that's all the games, man.
That's all of them.
That's every game on the slate, and I'm scratching my head because it's only like a couple of other things you can do after you go through all of the games, and one of them being. Best bets.
Best bets, man.
Got to get into the best bets, man.
Best bets of the week. Last week,
it was a dumpster fire.
Got my ass kicked. All across the board, starting on Thursday night. If you guys follow the episodes, I took Denver plus 10.5.
I told you not to do that.
And they lost by 11.
They lost.
Lost by 11.
In the words of Dom Toretto, it doesn't matter whether you lose by an inch or a mile. Losers.
It does matter.
Or something like that.
Spreads. It does matter. So, for this week, I'm looking to bounce back. Strong, firm. Got some good plays. I think that we're going to cash these ones in. All right?
Share them with the people.
My first one, the Chargers plus 5.5 in Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I thought it was plus 5.
I got it at 5.5. Mm-hmm. Plus 5.5.
He getting tricky with the books now.
Nah, my book got it at 5.5.
Point. He needed that
Chargers plus 5.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I like that one.
We already talked about it. I think the Chargers offense is explosive. They can push the ball down the field. They can keep up with Kansas City on their scoring as well.
They can do the offense.
Yeah, so offensively, I think it's gonna be a good game to look at. Yeah. I don't know about the total. Total's 48. I don't know about that. Probably stay away from it. Yeah. But I like the Chargers plus 5.5 to cover. Philadelphia Eagles at home. I got them at -2. Philadelphia is at home off of a loss playing Miami. I got them at -2. Look at my book. I'm telling you. Your book is different from mine.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
Your book is whack.
He's getting all the halves he can get this
Hell
week.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Philadelphia -2.
Our books were in super alignment last week, but go ahead.
Philadelphia, it wasn't actually. It never has been. Philadelphia -2 at home, coming off a loss to the Jets, playing Miami. Miami on the road. Like I said earlier in the rundown, Philadelphia finds a way to win, bounce back, holds the ball, owns time of possession, keeps Tyreek Hill and those animals off of the field, the cheetah and the waddler. Keep those guys off the field. And then my last bet, I hate to go with it, but I'm going ahead and take the Seattle Seahawks at home -8. I don't like the points. I don't like the points, but I'm going to go ahead and take the points. 8 is such a weird number. You rarely see it.
It is.
You rarely see it. Where are you getting 8 from? But I'm taking the points. Seattle to win at home, coming off this loss to Cincinnati on the road. The Arizona Cardinals, no James Conner. I just don't see the Arizona Cardinals being able to keep up throughout the whole game with the Seattle Seahawks. So those are my plays. Chargers plus 5.5, Philadelphia -2, and Seattle -8.
Okay. I'm not mad at your picks. 2 of them anyway. I do like Seattle for the win. That 8 is definitely scary.
Yeah.
But as for my best bets this week, top of the top, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. They are 8.5.
You don't like the 8, but you're taking the 8.5.
I don't like the Patriots. And that's why I'm taking. I don't give a damn about the 8.5. I just don't like the Patriots. The way, and it's a division. And the Bills know that they've dropped the ball in some games, so they definitely need to be dominating in the division. And they showed that against Miami that they are willing to dominate in the division game.
That was before they had them injuries.
That was before, but who they playing against? The Patriots. Anyway, so give me the Bills. Another game I love as one of my favorites. Another bounce back. San Francisco 49ers over the Vikings. 7 points.
It's another big spread.
It's another big spread, but I'm going to take it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take the 49ers in a bounce back win here. I think they feel like they need this game because they know they still could have won that game despite the injuries. They missed the field goal. The 49ers still top to bottom, still one of the most stacked teams in the league. So I'm going to stick beside them on that, man. I'm not going to argue with them too much. The other game I like, my third best bet would be the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Chicago Bears. They're a 3-point favorite in my book.
I like that one.
I like the Raiders to take this one. I like them getting Devontae Adams more involved in the offense. Hopefully his shoulder is all the way back right by now. I would love it if you had a high reception game because you're on my fantasy. So
he should. I mean,
I need Devontae Adams.
Gonna give him the rock, man. Gonna throw it
I need Devontae Adams to catch the ball a lot. So please. But yeah, that's my best bets.
All right.
But don't run off because he never puts it up. I've been trying to get him to put up this dog for like a month.
Motherfucker wasn't barking last week.
He said the motherfucker wasn't barking last week.
But y'all know what time it is. It's
time for the dog of the week,
man.
Okay.
Dog of the week. There's a couple in here that I like this week, but I'm gonna be a homer this week. I'm gonna be a homer. I'm taking the New York Giants at home versus the Washington Commanders. I'm gonna be a homer. I don't love this play. It's just a biased play. I think it's a good spot for the Giants. Starting to see it. Give us a little confidence.
I don't love it, but I'm not mad at it because I do actually think the Giants have a shot at winning this game.
Yeah.
I'm very on the fence. I picked Washington just off of consistency, and the O-line on the Giants is scary to bet on.
Yeah.
But the Giants they showed last week that they can play a little defense, and they got Saquon back. That gives them an exponential chance of winning.
I expect a lot of red zone work in practice this week because we actually didn't get in the end zone because our red zone offense was terrible. So I think that changes this week. We playing Washington. Washington, same type of caliber team. I assume, I believe. We at home. Give me the home dog, New York Giants. If you like your Pittsburgh Steelers, that's another one I like as well.
So you throwing out two?
No, I'm just throwing one.
Oh, okay.
I'm just throwing one.
Oh, okay.
But I'm playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And all right.
That's going on my parlay, though. I'm telling you that now.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. All right, man. He gave you his dog.
Mm-hmm. Who you got?
I'm not mad at your dog. But my dog this week.
Who we got?
The one that I like the most that's barking to me the most has to be the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand why they're an underdog in this game.
I bet.
So I'm going to roll with the Lions, man. The Lions have been treating me pretty well this season. So I'm going to stick with solid, man. Give me these Detroit Lions. I think they're going to come out there. They're going to rah, all over those damn Buccaneers.
The Ravens?
The Lions? What you talking about? The Ravens?
The Lions playing the Ravens?
The Lions, whatever. The Ravens, whatever. Snatch them out of the fucking sky. It was one of them animals. The Falcons got the Buccaneers. That's why I got my eyes on them too. My bad. But the Ravens. Give me the Lions over the Ravens. I like it.
Not mad at it. It can go that way. It can go that way.
It will.
Vegas is about to take all y'all money.
Okay. The Ravens are favorite.
I know, but you gonna put your money on Detroit, and the Ravens gonna win.
Okay.
That's what I said. That's why Vegas gonna take all your money.
Okay. Anyway, you tapped in with another episode of No Hedging Podcast.
Yes, you did.
We appreciate y'all.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
As always,
Run your plays. And last but not least, parlays, making money line plays. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. I hope y'all win. Let us know. Drop them comments. Let us know about your bets. We want to know what y'all run into.
Yep, safe betting, man.
Yeah. Peace.
We out. Safe betting.